Hello, students. I would like to share with you one paper that I consider as a good quality graduate level paper. I remove the student's name and put just this word, student's name, for confidentiality purposes. This is a good paper overall. However, I will show you some very minor issues. I don't know if I can call them issues, but very minor things that I will also fix with the hopes that it will be helpful for you, for you guys, and for this particular student as well. So, first thing, we know that the font and the font and the spacing in the APA style for APA paper must be the same. As I see here, the font is used Arial, and if I put here cursor, the font is Time New Roman. The danger is that sometimes, like when you type, you can switch to Arial from Times New Roman because it is already there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select everything and choose time New Roman. You see, this part of the paper has changed, and now all paper has the same font. Another thing is that here, as I see, there are some extra spaces, so the spacing is not exact double. What I do, again, I push Control A to select everything. Then I go to paragraph and I put zeros for indentation, for spacing. As you see, they were missing, some zeros were missing. And here, spacing, I put double and OK, and you will see how spacing will change. You saw it was minor movement. So now, as spacing changed, the part of the narrative, specifically the title from the first page of the narrative, moved up because spacing has changed. So to prevent this, I will use insert, page break, and I break this cover page at this point. Now it is firm and nothing will go wrong way. So I'm moving this up and now everything in the right place. I would like to go down to the references and see if references are in the right place, which is good, but there is no page break. I will add page break just in case. For example, if we add something, some sentences, or add or reduce sentences in the narrative in our discussion, so the reference page can move. So to keep reference page in the right place, we want to use a page break. So now, okay, it is a little bit wrong. Okay, now it is fine. It is good. So the references are on the separate page and they are not going to move from here. So as you see, because I made some adjustments, so the format of the references changed. I'm going to select the references, the list, and move them. Okay, this way. So now we have everything fixed on the last page of the paper. Okay, every paper repeats the name from the title. The title of the paper is repeated on the first page of the narrative. We do not write the word introduction. We don't use the word introduction as a title because APA Edition 7 tells us that any kind of beginning of the paper is an introductory part. So we don't need to label it with the word introduction. So the name of the paper, the title of the paper repeated from the cover page. Then we have introductory paragraph with the purpose for this paper. So let's look if this person, if these students wrote the purpose of the paper. Why the purpose of the paper is important? Because it keeps you on track. It happened to me when I was a student. Without purpose of the paper, my paper took me away from the topic because I was so excited about the topic and about my discovery. So it took completely away from what it should be about. And I was so surprised to find out when my professor returned the paper to me and asked me to rewrite the paper because it was not addressing the required elements, the required tasks. So here, in this paper, I'm going to assess how Apple's business structure. So we have the purpose of this paper. The purpose of the paper must be connected to the conclusion, because when you conclude, you kind of going back to the beginning to see if you address the purpose of this paper. Now, the student divided his paper into some major sections. So the title of the paper is a heading. It is called heading level 1. It is on the center, bold, and the first letters of the main words are capitalized. So the section is defines the decision. Okay, good. And this subsection is called heading level 2. APA has 5 heading levels. In your papers, I want to see 2, at least 2. You can go to number 3, heading level 3, but not necessary. So it helps you to create a structure, to show the logic, because like a very well organized paper shows to me that you logically put together all your discussion. When I see sections, subsections, I can easily follow your logic. This is very important that you break your paper into sections and subsections to show that you logically put your analysis. Okay, so we see heading level 2, heading level 2, heading level 1 is another major section, heading level 2, heading level 2 is an option for short papers. I could have, for example, context and backgrounds as heading level 2 and internal environment, external environment as heading level 3. This is a possibility, just an option. But overall, this organization looks very good. So now let's look at some citations, some quotes, direct quotes that this student uses. So this is one of them. Let me highlight it so we can better see. Strategy illustrates another important practical feature of looking forward and reasoning backward. You have to play the game from the perspective of both players. Okay, so the student decided to quote this particular saying from the textbook. I don't mind, but my suggestion to everyone is to make assessment of every single part of the source that you would like to quote, thinking about how strong the saying is. If, like, think about the famous quotations. Why they're famous? Because they are very strong. The same approach you have to use when you choose what to quote in your paper. If it is something that you can rephrase or paraphrase in your own words, it is completely fine and it is much better. Because if you can say in your own words what the author said without losing any important information, it is better that you do paraphrasing. It is not necessary. Actually, it is wrong to use this type of saying as a quote. In this case, the saying looks very good to me, and I agree with this quotation. So now how this quotation is cited. The name of the first author, um, the name of the second author, ampersand, no and should be used in the citations or in the reference list. But only you can use and when it is a part of your narrative. So the year of publication and page numbers. This is very important. So please remember every direct quote must be cited with a page number. If your source has pagination, if your source has pages. What to do if the source does not have pages? For example, it comes from the website. In this case, you should write paragraph number or section and paragraph. For example, let's say this is not a textbook, this is a website, and I would write like section and name of the section, for example, business. I'm just making up. I hope that everyone understands. And then para, for example, 4. So it will help me as your reader, your instructor, your reviewer, to find this particular saying. It is very important when you quote something to give this opportunity for the reader to find this exact quotation. I hope it is helpful. So, okay, now I have to remove what I wrote because it is not correct. Good, we can go further. As I look through the paper, the quotations do not exceed 40 words. Let me check, double check, maybe I'm wrong. This looks like a long quote. So what I do, I select this quote and I go to review and word count. It is 36. Please remember, let me move it up. Okay, cool. 36. Please remember, if your direct quotation is longer than 40 words, it must be shaped or formatted differently. It will be called block quotation. I strongly encourage you not to use the long quotations. Avoid them. Reduce them. I mean, choose a smaller part to make them less than 40 words. like long quotations, they are called block quotations, can be used like in dissertation, like for couple times. But in your short papers, does not make to use long quotes. Once again, make them shorter if you believe that it is good thing to quote. And do not overuse direct quotations. Don't make your paper like a collection of direct quotes. In this case, for example, if I see the paper has a lot of quotations, I better go to the original source and read it. Why? Because in your paper, I want to see your analysis. I want to see how you think about, what is, I want to see your interpretation, your logic, your understanding. And your opinion is valuable and very important to me to know. Otherwise, why I need you to read your paper? I will better read the original source. I hope it makes sense. So this student made the right thing, like you see, para number 6, because this quote comes from the website that does not have pagination. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please consider my suggestions. And also, you always can go to the apastyle.org website and use a sample APA paper to compare your paper to the standard APA student paper and to see how how far or close your paper is to the standardized paper. Please let me know if you have any further questions and if this video was helpful. Thank you very much, and I will see you in next video.